Your UFC debut versus Frank Mir 10 years ago this week, DC. You were a brash, young champion coming over from another organization. You still almost kind of had a hairline. And they put you right in that octagon against Frank Mir, who was a former heavyweight champion. DC, what do you remember about that night? And what kind of nerves did you have stepping into the UFC and the bright lights?
You saw me try to kick him in the head right there, RC. You know me, I'm throwing kicks out.
You're a little
I
more
was out there
flexible
doing
than
my
I
thing.
thought.
I was like a dog out there. But no, I remember being like really nervous because it was in San Jose, right? And it was where I was from and where I was living and training. So, bro, San Jose treated the American Kickboxing Academy like its own entity, its own professional team. I would get so many videos of bars and places in town when all of us fought. Me, Velasquez, Habib. Every time we fought, sorry guys, I dropped my camera. Every time we fought, um, every time we fought, it was just so packed and people were so excited to see us compete that I just loved it. But bro, when I hit that curtain, RC, it was so loud. And people talk about octagon jitters. People talk about, can you live up to what the UFC expects? I hugged Frank Mir for 15 minutes. I was so nervous, RC. I didn't want to lose so bad that I just clinched him a lot of the time, and it was a really boring fight. And you know how I tell you, it's boring, RC? Because I was working at Fox at the time. And I remember going to work on Wednesday. And Dana used to come to this show called UFC Tonight all the time. And he walked up to me and he goes, "Oh, you're hosting the big show already." And I was so excited and so happy, Ryan. And that dude goes, and the person from the show goes, "It doesn't look like he fought, right, Dana?" And Dana goes, "Well, he didn't. All he did was hug the guy for 15 minutes. He's like, y'all got him hosting the show." It was crazy, man. Crazy.
Hey, DC, but that was the start to a second act in your mixed martial arts career, which landed you in the UFC Hall of Fame. And so when you think of that night, it's truly the night that Daniel Cormier, two-division champion, was born, and now the dude that I get an opportunity every Tuesday to sit and do a podcast with that I enjoy doing. So for me, man, that is a huge night in my career as well. But I got an opportunity, bro, to do my top 3 Daniel Cormier UFC moments. Now, at number 3, I'm going press conference, John Jones, DC altercation. And I'm gonna tell you why, because this is what I loved about it. This was when I truly knew you was from Louisiana. Because every now and then, they say a dude's from Louisiana, but you don't really see him act like he from the boot. The one thing we gonna do is pop off first. If there is any sign of any type of beef, like my homeboy Ike Taylor said that went to ULL, eye contact gets you instant beef. And for you and John Jones, it was instant beef, and I loved it. Now, at number 2, I'm going your fight against Frank Mir. Yeah, I know you hugged him, and I know you were a little nervous and scared, but without that fight and without winning that fight, you don't get to be on the trajectory that you were on to be a champion. I think the other thing that stuck out to me about that, in your first UFC fight, bro, you were the co-main event. And so when you talk about headliners, Daniel Cormier, for his entire career in the UFC, was a freaking headliner. And number 1 for me is you beating Stipe Miocic to just truly solidify yourself as one of the all-time greats that have ever been in this sport. To be a champion at light heavyweight and then move up and go through the gauntlet of having to get that opportunity of fighting bigger men and then finding a way to beat Stipe Miocic, who is the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. That is absolutely my number 1 Daniel Cormier moment. It's not the most fun one, because number 3 is the most fun Daniel Cormier moment, but it's definitely the moment that lets you put those 2 straps on your shoulders and put you in an atmosphere or a stratosphere with not many that have ever done it.
That was a great list, Ryan. That's probably the best list you've ever done. But yeah, RC, hey, when you got a problem with somebody from Louisiana, especially in that environment, it's on site, baby. It's on site.
On
So
site.
when he got
It's
her close to me, it's on site, RC. And then you kind of grab him by the neck, right? But then they threw me down, they jumped me. At one point, his manager hit me. It was bad. It was real bad. I threw my shoe at him. The Frank Mir fight making my dude was great. And the dude, that double champion moment will always be the highlight of my entire athletics career, obviously. So it was a great, great career. Thank you for doing that, RC.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.